And we're back to getting up early because half term is over.
I fucking hate the sun. Just thought I'd share that with you. Hate it. Look at that. Don't like it at all. You like the sun,
Miserable
don't you?
bastard.
Yeah, I do. I just don't like it. Not in this
love
country,
it.
I don't like it.
I love it. It's sunny when it's crisp and cold, but the skies are blue and the sun is shining. That's my favourite weather.
No, I know.
I love it.
Yeah.
It cheers me up.
Oh.
Which is what you need. And you need it, as we are going to chat about later, aren't we? Because we're going to talk a bit about SADs.
Yeah. Sad.
SAD.
Just sad.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Now, we found out this morning what COP26 stands for, just in case you were all wondering as you look. Isn't it terrible? And this is a real problem. They need a PR team to make us care about this, because we all care about the environment, we all care about climate, and as soon as I hear COP26, I want to run for the hills.
No, I think that we all care about it, but I think we just don't believe, we think it's a lot of hot air and showing off. And if you think how badly Cornwall went, what's the one on Cornwall?
Morning, Julia Eaton.
You just think, you know, but they couldn't even agree to, when all countries got together, they couldn't even agree to vaccinate across the world.
They couldn't even agree to disagree.
So we just feel a bit...
I genuinely think they have a crisis on their hands in terms of getting the public motivated. I'm sorry, I care, and I hear COP26, and I just want to turn the telly off.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally want to turn the telly off, and I shouldn't. But you also kind of know that a bunch of leaders like Boris, I mean, I think this is about confidence in Boris or not. You just think, nah.
And yesterday we were listening to the radio, weren't they? They were saying that we think that Labour is saying that Boris is playing this game, and I just listened to the Foreign Minister saying the same thing. You know, we don't really expect we're going to be able to do much.
Yeah, they went into it negatively.
So that then when they do, they can say, everyone go, wow, you managed to get the bare minimum, well done.
So once again, Boris is more interested about the perception of him rather than the actual detail of what they're doing. I totally agree, Russ. COP26 is so important for our kids. And yet I think they've dicked it up already by making it so dull and seemingly unsuccessful before it's even started.
Well, let's hope, but I just hope he isn't playing games with us.
Yeah.
So that we all applaud him when he gets the bare minimum.
But just in case,
we need more than the bare minimum.
I just realised I didn't say, so COP26 stands for Conference of the Parties.
And it's the 26th one.
Yeah, that's clearly got you gripped, hasn't it?
I mean,
that's what I do when I hear it, yeah. It's kind of, why is it whenever the United Nations touches something, they make it boring?
But it was like Nick Ferrari was saying, you know, this tree trunk that collapsed across the tracks on some track towards Glasgow.
Oh,
It took them 7 hours to move it. And he was saying to Forest Minister, don't you think it makes us look like a right load of plebs that we can't get a man in a Land Rover to just bump down there and with the chainsaw and just get it sorted out? 7 hours where people were sat on the train.
This is different to the Salisbury train crash. Obviously, the Salisbury train crash, terrible, and bloody lucky that it wasn't much worse. I mean, I don't know if do you remember the Paddington train crash? It was just awful.
I interviewed people that were on that.
But yeah, I do think seeing people sleeping at Euston Station isn't an enormous advert for the infrastructure of this country, is it really? Well, mind you, neither were queues at fuel stations. Oh, mind you, neither were queues tailing back all the way from Dover. Funny that, isn't it?
Apparently, we're really stuck with this fishing war thing as well at the moment because the French, because they're about to have their... I can't remember.
I agree. Minky Moose says it should be SOP. Save our planet.
Yes.
It should be something sexy like, Rescue Tomorrow or Now Forever or Future Generation. Something about the future generations. Something that kind of engages people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the French are wanting the row about the fishing because they've got an election coming up, and apparently this time the party coming up against what's his name? What's the French? Macron is even more far right than the previous one.
Apparently, Macron loves mackerel.
But anyway, so he's wanting to look all tough.
Macron.
Yeah, and Boris is wanting to look all tough to distract from all the other things that are going wrong with Brexit. And they were just saying on the radio, what do you do when it suits both sides to be having this row? And then there's just people caught in the middle, people with their businesses, and it's going to cause more problems for Christmas. And it's just, so I suppose when you've got these stories running parallel with COP26 and you're thinking, so much of the way politicians need to be behaving at the moment seems so childish. And you imagine them all in a room together in Glasgow and you think, well,
Fuck off.
what are you going to pull off?
I just think fuck off. I mean, I genuinely am so sick to the back teeth of politicians. It's like you actually say that. It's a really important point that you give the other perspective. Macron has got a distraction to make. Boris has constantly got distractions to make. And actually, so where is government policy? Where is stuff happening for people that really matters rather than just leaders distracting?
People grandstanding, leaders grandstanding. We've seen so much ego, haven't we, over the last couple of years at the most dire of times that the world has seen in God knows how long. And
Can I just...
even Biden, I still can't get over Biden visiting Rome with an 85 car motorcade. And these are the people that are meeting together to talk about the future of our planet. No wonder we're all switched off from it.
And can I also just stress to those people who perhaps think we sit here and when we're outraged and when we get upset and when we're cross, that we somehow think we're better than what's going... We are just ordinary people expressing frustration like other ordinary people, and ordinary people of different backgrounds, different classes, different levels of wealth, you name it. Everyone has an opinion on this. We're not part of the government. We're not sitting here saying we've got better ideas than anyone else. It's infuriating when you can see it so
our water
obviously.
cooler chat.
Exactly.
Hello, FSP, who rarely gets to make a live. Well, lovely to see you.
Hey.
Welcome to the live.
What does it stand for, FSP? Is it FSP? Have you
FSP.
missed a...
FSP.
Looks like you've missed a vowel. Vesper.
Clodagh, exactly. If 90% of the world made big changes, we could arrest this. That's what's so frustrating, isn't it? I mean, the foreign minister today was saying, very high up delegates are coming from both China and Russia, and, the mood music is sounding good. There's wanting to... But it's like, oh, shut up. No, it's not. Russia and China are not going to play ball with us.
Robert James says, did you guys see Good Morning Britain this morning showing the palace underwater when it's 10 metres plus above water levels? GMB at its best. I've seen these images which show...
What's that?
I'm going to say, I've seen these images where I don't know who's published them, but they're images of what will happen to London and other parts of the country when sea levels rise. And Buckingham Palace is underwater.
How much?
A lot. Check out the image, pump it into your phone and put Buckingham Palace in flood. So, and huge swathes of South London. I think the entire South Bank, all of Tate Modern, the Globe, all around there underwater. That's possibly in the next 20 years. Apparently sea levels have doubled.
Yeah.
The rising sea levels have doubled since the 90s.
But isn't it, okay, I mean, though we are talking about COP26 now anyway, but the fact that we know a lot of this stuff now, they've done a good PR job now of telling us how dire things are, and yet we feel disengaged to the COP26 because we just feel...
Elijah says last night's members live was scary, masks and music. You missed a treat there. I kind of lost my shit a little bit there. Why don't you become a member just for a day? Go and see what I was up to last night.
Melanie Williams says a lot of climate predictors are quite conservative in their predictions. Do you think?
Melanie Williams, I think you're right. Okay. Here's a question. I like asking you questions. Good luck, Tim. Do you think they need to scare us or motivate us? Scare us or not scare us? Scare us or not scare us in order to do change, enact change?
I think we need to start hearing that it is very possible that we can arrest this.
Yeah.
Because I think if people think, everything is lost and therefore we are all powerless, of course, who is going to make those changes? Because changes are difficult. Nobody wants to fly less, pay a bit more for their gas boiler, swap over to an electric car. All these things are going to cost people at a point where people are really struggling globally, to make ends meet. And so unless we really, really believe that change can be made, don't forget, most of the world is just trying to live till the end of the day. We live in the Western world. We don't know how easy we've got it. But, you know, in so many other parts of the world, people are just trying to get bread for that day, to live for that day.
Yeah.
They're not going to be worrying about their carbon bloody footprint. They're just trying to stay alive.
Ellen makes a really good comment. I think they need to scare themselves. I'm scared enough, thanks.
Yeah, really good.
Very good point.
But also, we need to put this money into countries where they don't have enough. And there's all those reports in India, weren't there, yesterday? And really make changes. I mean, in very hot countries, you know, if you to swap over to solar paneling, I mean, is an answer, because there's so much burning of fossil fuels, isn't there, in countries where people are struggling more. Of course they are. They just want to keep warm.
And then you've got these huge sort of countries like ours in America that's essentially dominated the planet, saying, "Look, guys, can you please just stop doing that?" Whereas we've reaped the rewards, if you like.
Yeah, we've built our palaces.
The earth. Yeah, exactly. One of the things we've mentioned, I have mentioned this on another Coffee Moaning, but I think it's important to remember. I do think with all these nations, there's a game of chicken going on. And it's like, who is the first one to step forward? Who's going to be the first one to make the huge commitment? Because the commitments required by individual countries are enormous. I mean, forget COVID, they are enormous. And so I think there's an element with all countries of them doing this, where they're going, are you stepping forward? So say you're sort of America or all the other countries. I'm going to step forward a step. Are you going to step forward a step? Only if you step forward a step.
Because nobody wants to have one hand tied behind their back for their industries.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Their country. They don't. I mean, so for example, if the UK just spearheaded and became the leading firelight and example of climate change, and everyone else went, look, he ran ahead.
We're not. Keep them burning. Keep the factories burning.
It's really hard. Zena Tibby, need to lead by example. We do, but at the same time, when you've got China and Russia around the corner, you can see, this isn't an argument not to do it. This is about needing, ironically, we're sitting here telling you exactly why COP26 is important. But when China and Russia aren't at the table, it's why I think a lot of people have become already like that about it. Because it's like, well, with all the will in the world, we can say everything we need to say, we can commit to everything we need to commit to. Greta Thunberg's told us that even our targets are shit, you know, and we need to roll Greta and David Attenborough out to lead this shit. Send them to the Kremlin. What I would go for is a really highly publicised envoy of British and Western and European and Asiatic environmentalists all going to Russia, go to the Kremlin and say, what are you going to do about it? Vlad the Impaler.
So what else were we talking
Prince
about?
Andrew.
Because we weren't talking about COP26.
No, Prince Andrew accuses Virginia
Did everyone
Giffrey.
have a lovely Halloween, by the
sorry.
way? I thought maybe we'll have a light minute in between.
Oh, all right, sorry. Yeah. Did you have a nice Halloween? Who got trick-or-treaters banging on their door?
We haven't got that sort of neighbourhood, which
No.
is a shame. Lisa says her street is amazing. Every house has, you know, something in the window and the pumpkin. You have to have a lit pumpkin, don't you? It says you can come in.
Whereas
and all
here-
the kids
whereas-
running up and down, but we don't have that sort of neighbourhood.
No, you think
On a busy
think they're
road.
plastic guns, but they're not.
It's because we're on a busy road.
That was an interesting
Sorry, I had a
sound,
hiccup.
wasn't it? Hiccup. I get
Hiccup.
hiccups. No one knocked here, Michelle White. No one came to my door. There I was, standing by the door with my bag of masks, ready to scare people batshit crazily. No one
Minky
came.
Moo. Yes, fantastic Halloween in a little country village. Oh, don't. Oh.
Anne Murray, Prince Andrew is saving the planet. He hasn't left home in a few months. Yeah, his
I don't
Range
think he'll
Rover
be
gobbles
leaving
up.
again.
Yeah.
But the thing was, the weather was so terrible yesterday, wasn't it? That's why there was probably less people knocking on the door.
Absolutely.
I made Mark a bread pudding.
Oh my God, it was good. Except it's broken one of my
I
teeth.
made bread pudding and jam tarts and roast dinner. It was really nice.
Plastic guns, yeah.
And I had a lovely, gorgeous, who likes rosé wine? I must show you this rosé wine because it won't last long. It's
I
in
used
Lidl.
to. I used to like any
Lidl.
wine. I used to like rosé,
Right,
I used
listen
to like
this.
fizzy.
Really important, if you can, to drink organic wine because the chemicals in wine are really bad for you. They give you a worse hangover and also they're not good for your liver. So this is a really nice rosé. Was it Lidl or Aldi? Lidl. Dina got it. $6.99. Look how pale it is.
For anyone wondering, I don't mind her holding a bottle of wine this
And
Christmas.
it has like slight taste of like strawberries and cherries, just very, very slight. But I would get, because Dina said they won't have it for long, because when they get a good organic wine, $6.99 if you want to buy it for Christmas.
I think we should do a wine. I think we should do a wine testing. Oh, shall I?
Should I get it?
Yes, please. I think we should do a wine testing thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing in there.
A wine testing sort of session.
Yeah, Dina's
Obviously, I won't be
really
involved
good.
in that.
Dina's really good on finding bargain wines.
Lynn Aoki says that looks yum.
It's really nice, guys.
Katie Knights has trouble getting hold of organic wine in shops, not clearly marked up. This is an issue. This is an issue.
I think I told you before that my gut lady specialist, I've definitely said this before a number of times, but just for anyone new listening, she said if there was one thing she could take off the planet, it would be non-organic wine for women. Very,
Jackie
very
Bellino,
bad.
absolutely. Please do it. Please do it. Suggest someone else.
Yeah.
Over on the members area, you'll know that there was a question about how old is Dina, and that is, if you get that correct after in the tombola that Michelle's going to do, you will get the third personalised video message from us. So there you go.
Yeah, so that is something that happens in the members area, that every couple of weeks there's a question that goes out and then somebody wins a personalised video. So if you want to become a member, the members area is always open. You just have to click on join below here. And it's just under 50p a week.
Yeah, well, 37 actually.
And for that you get extra content.
Yeah, Jesus.
Is it 37p?
Yeah, roughly what's out of that?
37p
it's in
a
dollars
week.
because YouTube's an
When
American.
you think of just our Sunday show, an hour and a half Sunday show, you couldn't get...
No.
What could you get for 37?
No, and it's never going up.
37p.
Here's the thing, guys. You're the director of those little messages. So if you want Nadia to, I don't know, run around naked, well, no, within reason, she won't do that. I don't drink, so I'm a juice drinker, says Nicky Burton. Worst hangovers are with wine, Linnea, especially red wine.
Because of the chemicals. It's not the alcohol, it's the chemicals
Is it
in
the
wine.
tannins?
Because you can legally put 230 different chemicals in a wine.
Tannin. Is it tannins? Is
Preservatives, all of that
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
sure they're called tannins.
I think the tannins are the good thing in wine.
Are they?
Are the tannins the thing that...
I don't know. Okay, so Prince Andrew, why don't you share with us... The Prince Andrew story is quite remarkable, I think.
Yeah, and it really is, it's the language being used.
Yeah, I agree.
And when you think about all the conversations that we've been having over the last, well, forever, but I suppose really things were really reignited over the last year because there's been so many horrendous rapes and murders, and every day it seems like we're hearing of new horrors that women have to face. And we're always talking about the language, aren't we? And we have to go to the root cause, and we have to make changes in the way that we think and we talk about women. And then here we have Prince Andrew's lawyers using the most awful language. So his lawyers are seeking to turn the tables on the woman accusing him of teenage rape by claiming she was involved in the willful recruitment and trafficking of young girls for sexual abuse. So it's very controversial, obviously, this attempt to prove his innocence. Lawyers for the Duke have painted Virginia Giuffre as an alleged criminal who worked to procure, wait for this, underage, slutty girls for Jeffrey Epstein. Slutty girls. That's his lawyers using that language. What do you think of that? Quite extraordinary. Andrew's decision to come out fighting marks a significant change to his legal strategy. It certainly does. But potentially leaves him open to claims of victim blaming. It certainly does. So he is being accused in a civil lawsuit of rape in the first degree and sexual assault on 3 occasions when she was 17. I just think he never seems to put a foot right, does he? Yeah, disgusting language. We just couldn't believe it when we read it this morning, could we? So presumably he will have sanctioned whatever his lawyer's language is. I'm sure he would have seen this. But it just goes to show the way they think.
Yeah.
she procured slutty girls.
It's quite something, isn't it? I mean, that sort of says something. Have you said that says far more about him than it does about, yeah.
It's like years ago, I had this agent. She was actually, yeah. In lots of ways, this is really early on in my career. In lots of ways, she was a really great woman. Loved her. She was very funny. She was very energised. She was very, but it wasn't until I'd been with her for quite a while that I realised that when she was talking to clients about me, because I think partly it was because she really loved me, but she was absolutely ball-breaking, making these demands like, NADIA will only have a first-class train ticket and all of this sort of stuff. And I didn't know this. I didn't know I was being spoken about with this sort of language. And I remember just being absolutely mortified, because those that speak for you, don't they? They say something of you. And if you have lawyers that use that sort of language, you can imagine the language they're using behind closed doors.
Oh, absolutely.
If this is what they put into a written document. And obviously he doesn't see any problem with that language, which means he doesn't have any problem with that way of thinking.
I agree.
So I think he's shot himself in the foot massively with this. What do you think?
I entirely agree. I mean, I when I saw it, but I mean, it's a tried and tested old technique. Isn't
Very
it?
old-fashioned.
Well, no,
victim
but
blaming.
yeah, victim blaming, exactly. So it's about not only denying but pushing back with your own accusations. It's that sort of, why hasn't this come up sooner?
But also, hasn't he always said that he didn't know her? Hasn't met her.
Well, precisely.
Couldn't remember her.
Well,
but now he knows that she helped procure slutty girls.
Well,
like
Laura D. Bays says, most of the time he shoots himself in the foot, and I think he may well have shot himself in the foot again.
Exactly. And his poor daughters, me and Lisa were talking about this at the weekend. There's poor girls, this year they've gotten married, and by all accounts, they're very sweet girls. Like Fergie is. You never hear a bad word about Fergie, and she's so loyal to him, and it just breaks your heart. You think, oh, God.
Welcome, Sue Williams. Welcome, Sue. I just, it's going to be interesting. And I also noticed that the Ghislaine Maxwell story was in the press a couple of days ago, wasn't it? Her brother claiming that she's being so badly mistreated. That,
I didn't see that. I saw somebody written a book.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's as much. But I mean, I thought that was due to come before court in October, wasn't it?
What was the brother saying then?
Just saying that she's being abused by guards.
Do you think she would be? I mean, she's so watched. This is...
She's also considered so evil, though, isn't she? I mean, I don't know. And then, of course, you've got the head of Barclays Bank, who's resigned due to involvements with Epstein. That's big news today, but we figured Barclays Bank might turn you all off.
Vanessa Wilde, except Fergie had loans from Epstein, sweet but corrupt Fergie. Well, Vanessa, yeah, of course. All I'm talking about is whatever I've heard about her is she's always been very lovely, very down to earth. I also think she's incredibly naive and gullible.
We've got Kez C.
But I'm sure when she took those loans, she's always had money trouble, hasn't she, Fergie? I'm sure she wouldn't have known that he... the thing is, she doesn't believe for a single second that Prince Andrew's done anything wrong.
No.
So she probably never thought there was any problem with Epstein either.
Kez C, I was groomed and it's such a head fuck. All he's doing is continuing that confusion that goes on in your head.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a really important point. Because what he's done here, he's thrown the cat amongst the pigeons within a sort of mental headspace that's going to be so traumatised and sort of buffeted and at sea, generally. Do you know what I mean? That you sort of think, he's made it worse.
Will enrage people with this today, though.
Yeah.
I think that it's probably his worst move yet.
Yeah.
Imagine all the women's groups that are going to just fire up on this one.
Was anyone, sort of moving off that sort of dark story, was anyone thrown by the clocks flipping back? I tell you what doesn't happen so much anymore, and I miss this, if I'm honest. I miss waking up in the morning and going, shit! Because all our tech does it automatically.
I know. We didn't know whether we were still wrong because everything was right with the phones.
You now pass through the clock change without having any crisis. Do you remember? You'd be late for work, you'd be late at school. Oh, sorry, I forgot the clocks. Now you can't because look, my Fitbit told the right time.
I've forgotten that it's brighter in the morning.
Yeah. And
So I was really freaked out. I thought we were late this morning.
It was like we were
I knew we were changing the clocks, but I thought...
Like at 6 o'clock, it was like a reverse apocalypse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not dark, it's like,
Yeah,
hell,
it's
it's
really
bright.
weird.
And Kiki said on the way to school, she said, I prefer it when it's dark because it's like a big cuddle.
Yeah.
It is, it's like darkness.
And
is
I
like
feel like we've got so much
cuddle.
done because then it starts to come light. Whereas all morning I've been thinking
Yeah,
we're
but we've done
behind.
shitloads, mate.
Honestly, I've been thinking we're behind. In morning I'm like, we're behind.
Jesus Christ, by 9 o'clock we've done...
But you know, there's an increase in heart attacks around the change of clocks.
Well, lots of
I'm
people
gonna
get
look this up
different...
and show you
I
this.
always get skin complaints between almost all the seasons, certainly between autumn and winter. But does anyone else have... Excuse me. Anyone else have... Let me ask you this as a kind of big, quick question. Do you have SAD? Do you get SAD? Or do you know anyone who has SAD? And what I mean by SAD is seasonal affective disorder, where you are... Essentially, your mood is changed by the season.
Oh, this is it. I knew it was.
Give us your answers and Nadia will read. Not.
I haven't found it yet.
And we'll throw to Nadia. Come into camera 2 in 3, 2... No, okay. I do, Mark. Kelly. My eczema gets sore around different seasons, coming and going. Lewis Craig, sad and depression. Lewis, sending you an enormous hug, Lewis. Habiba Duval, it's terrible for our body clocks. It is. Is it called the diurnal rhythm?
Just
Or
looking for
what is it called?
Cicada.
Circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm. I don't wake up till 9 a.m, so no different from me, Ruth Blandford.
Seasonal affective disorder. No, it's mood disorder.
Teresa Hutchinson used to be when we had a VCR, my dad would freak out when we had to set the clock
so
on
basically people who have normal mental health throughout most of the year exhibit depressive symptoms at the same time each year, most commonly in winter. So it's the lack of energy, overeating,
a lot of people don't recognise it.
Yeah,
it's not universally recognised.
But you know that there's a light, because I know my mum thought that my dad had. My dad used to use this all the time when we were growing up. He'd have that little special light.
Son Tom got him a sad lamp. Sue Williams, did we lose or get? We lost an hour. It falls back and it springs forward.
Yeah.
Remember that. Falls back, springs forward. Fall as in autumn, obviously. I quite like the dark early. I mean, you know, for the next 2 days, it's dark at like 2 p.m, isn't it, in this country? It's messed with 16/8. Jackie Valino, it does mess with
where are we with it?
Maybe you should talk about that in intermittent fasting this week.
What does it do?
Well, I guess it knocks your hours back. But for some people, that's key, isn't it? That's key. Who believes SAD is a fictional construct?
Well, here it is, yes. Changing clock twice a year is bad for the health and energy use.
Who believes it's not really a thing?
Well, how can you? You can only believe that if it doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, but maybe it's just depression. Elijah, I do get sad, but all year, worse in winter. I mean, I get sad when it's bright and sunny. I like the cloak of comfort that I get from clouds. That was cloak of comfort from clouds, Nat.
It does affect your health and safety.
Health and safety? How does it
That's
affect
why
your
experts
safety?
are calling for an end of this back and forth. It confuses our bodies. It's an increase in heart attacks. Even 1 hour of a time shift can make it harder to wake up, fall asleep. Yeah, so our sleep schedules are all out. Circadian rhythms are fucked.
Hello, Vanessa.
More accidents, more car
Lauren Webster,
accidents, because people are tired. Higher,
Just saying hello to Vanessa.
Okay.
Hi, Vanessa. Say hello to Vanessa.
Hello, Vanessa. Higher risk of heart attack or stroke, and an increase in admissions for irregular heartbeats around this time.
Really?
Yeah.
That would explain why on my Fitbit my heart rate has gone through the roof.
Maybe.
And then it goes back down.
Does anyone just feel a bit like...
Fuck it.
A bit odd?
Yeah, all the time.
That's what I get when I get changed the times clocks. I feel like,
I feel odd all the
it's a
time.
bit odd.
Guys, we've really enjoyed this. I hope you have. For saying there was no news, we talked about COP26 for ages, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, really good. Hit the like button, guys. Come on.
Where did I get my shirt from? From Urban Outfitters. I've got loads of different colours in the Urban Outfitters shirts. I love them. They're just so easy to wear. You don't like these shirts on me, do you? Nirvana! Do you like these shirts on me?
Of course I do.
Oh, do you? I thought you didn't like them.
I like that cardigan.
Just a little bit chilly.
Don't like
You
the
don't like the
cardigan.
cardigan?
No, I don't like the cardigan.
Do you like my cardigan, guys?
Sorry, I'd just like to be honest.
still a star
We could
on
all
the
just
back.
put. Oh, I didn't see the stars. Nice. Just looks a bit nondescript at the front. You look like Starsky at Starsky and Hutch. Got to say it as it is, guys. Got to say it as it is. It's pointless lying to your partners. We're going to do a whole how to stay married about lying. We haven't done that. We did it for confessions. Should you lie to your partner? I think Nadia lies all the time.
Guys, this is terrible.
What is
We only have 96 thumbs up underneath here. Come on. Hit the like button just underneath our film. We've been here with you for half an hour having a nice old chat. Oh, we have a new member. We need to sing a song.
Sue, it's Sue.
Sue, Ballymacrew, welcome to the family guest, Eddie. Oh, Sue, Ballymacrew, welcome to the family guest, Harry. Somebody said there that they think that you don't like my cardigan with my shirt.
You have hit the nail on the head, whoever said that.
You don't think it goes?
No.
Oh, I always hit the like button before it starts,
Oh,
says
sweetie.
D. How sweet. Because it's funny, I always find it really funny, the people that hit the don't like button before it starts.
I love them. I love them in my own little way. You're like a cloud, which I like. It's like a cuddly cloud of
Oh,
negativity.
and guys, my sister, on her Art by Box Instagram account, they're just starting the Christmas...
Because that's the question.
Okay, Christmas boxes. So get your orders in, because we're hoping it will be very busy for them, because it is such a new and tiny business. So, and if you are a member, you get a discount, don't forget.
Ooh,
So DM her on Instagram. I can't remember.
this is a great one. I'm a new member. This is a great one to do well for.
Francesca Crowther Smith. Francesca Crowther Smith. Francesca Crowther Smith. Francesca Crowther Smith. Welcome.
I'll just tell you something.
Okay.
You did.
You're kidding.
If you want to know what we're talking about,